Recap of the week, and we begin in Cuba, home to the world's least fun Castro district. On Friday, Cuba made history.
Today, the flag of the United States was raised over the U.S. Embassy in Havana, with Secretary of State John Kerry looking on. 3 U.S. Marines hoisted the flag up a pole at the embassy for the first time in 54 years.
Yes, finally, the universal symbol of freedom and liberty is flying in Cuba, someplace other than Guantanamo Bay. But it wasn't just symbolic flag raising. The reopening of the embassy also gave Secretary of State John Kerry a chance to dust off his freshman year ¿Qué tal? Textbook.
I say on behalf of my country, los Estados Unidos acogen con beneplácito este nuevo comienzo de su relación con el pueblo, el gobierno de Cuba.
No bueno. You sound like a Rosetta Stone, and not the software. You sound like an actual rock trying to speak Spanish. And look, the negotiations to get us to this point are way too complicated to get into right now. Suffice to say, they involved at various points Senator Patrick Leahy, the Pope, and the nation of Canada. But perhaps the most amazing detail was that at one point, the negotiations actually hinged on this.
A wild story involving the artificial insemination of the wife of one of the Cuban prisoners being held in the United States, with the Leahys bringing the semen, really, from the prisoner in the United States to Havana so she could become pregnant.
It's true. Apparently, as part of the effort to close the deal, last year, Senator Patrick Leahy helped facilitate the artificial insemination of a Cuban prisoner's wife by ensuring safe passage for his sperm. And let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks international diplomacy is glamorous, because it is not just cocktail parties and high-level meetings. Once in a while, your job may include making sure an international flight takes off with a carry-on bag containing presumably less than 3 ounces of warm Cuban jizz. That's an adult's job. That is diplomacy. So let's move on. Let's move on now to American history. You know, the thing that Disney's Pocahontas improved on. This week gave closure to a rumour that has been intriguing US historians for years.
And it is confirmed President Warren G. Harding did indeed have a daughter out of wedlock. The New York Times reports DNA testing now proves the 29th president fathered a child by a mistress, Nan Britton, before he was elected.
Yes, it's official. Warren G. Harding had a love child, which is pretty impressive for a man who looks like someone put 2 napping caterpillars on an angry bald eagle's forehead and then dressed it in Tucker Carlson's clothes. But the revelation came as vindication for the family of his mistress, Nan Britton. And frankly, I could fill you in on the details of this story, but I would much rather let the team at Good Day Columbus take it from here.
You know who was who was the hottie in his day who might have been on one of these?
Turns out
Warren G. Harding had a love child.
Marion's own Warren G. Harding, president of these United States. Quite the scandal in the 20s. The family has long since denied, and the two families have been kind of circling each other, going, this is for real. No, it's not for real. No, you're making it up.
I want to learn about every world event from those two people. So ISIS was all like, we want to take over Syria, and Syria was like, nah, and ISIS was like,